Did you know that the ancient Egyptians believed their gods could control the very forces of nature? Imagine a world where the sun's course across the sky was dictated by a god in a chariot, or where the annual floods of the Nile were a gift from a benevolent deity. That's the kind of world the ancient Egyptians lived in, a world where the divine wasn't some distant concept, but an active force shaping their daily lives. In this video, we'll journey back in time to ancient Egypt to explore their pantheon of gods. These gods were integral to their understanding of the cosmos, their society, and their very existence. We're talking about Ra, the sun god who brought light to the world; Horus, the falcon-headed god of kingship; Osiris, ruler of the underworld and embodiment of resurrection; Seth, the god of chaos and disorder; Anubis, who guided souls into the afterlife; and Bastet, the fierce yet nurturing cat goddess. Get ready to unlock the secrets of these powerful deities and discover their significance in shaping ancient Egyptian culture, mythology, and belief systems. It's going to be a cosmic ride, so buckle up. Let's kick things off with Ra, the head honcho of the Egyptian pantheon. Ra was the sun god, bringing light, warmth, and life to the world. He sailed across the sky in his magnificent solar bark. Ra was also the creator god, bringing order from chaos. Each night he battled demons in the underworld. Ra was depicted as a falcon, scarab beetle, or ram-headed man. Pharaohs were seen as the living embodiment of Horus, Ra's descendant. From the blazing sun we now turn our gaze to the heavens, to Horus, the falcon-headed god of the sky. Picture this, a majestic bird of prey soaring high above the earth, its keen eyes piercing the clouds. That's Horus, the embodiment of power, protection, and divine kingship. Now, Horus wasn't just any bird god. He was the son of Osiris and Isis, two of the most important deities in the Egyptian pantheon. Horus inherited his father's claim to the throne of Egypt, a birthright that set him on a collision course with his uncle, the god Seth. Horus's association with the sky is central to understanding his character. The ancient Egyptians saw the sky as a vast expanse, home to the sun, the moon, and the stars. Horus, with his piercing gaze and powerful wings, was the master of this domain. He was often depicted with a sun disk above his head, symbolizing his connection to Ra and his role as a protector of the pharaoh. Imagine the pharaoh as the earthly representative of Horus, ruling with the god's strength, wisdom, and divine authority. Speaking of pharaohs, Horus's link to kingship is one of his most defining characteristics. In fact, one of the most famous titles of the pharaoh was Horus the living god. From the soaring heights of the sky, we now descend into the shadowy depths of the underworld, the realm of Osiris, god of the afterlife, rebirth, and regeneration. Unlike the bright and powerful Ra or the majestic Horus, Osiris evokes a sense of mystery, a quiet strength that emanates from the very heart of the earth. Osiris's story is one of the most poignant and enduring in Egyptian mythology. He was the brother of Seth and Isis, and together they ruled over a golden age in Egypt. Osiris, as king, taught humans agriculture, law, and civilization, bringing peace and prosperity to the land. Imagine a time when the Nile flowed predictably, crops flourished, and harmony reigned. That was Osiris's legacy. But as with any good story, tragedy struck. Seth, consumed by jealousy and lust for power, tricked Osiris, killing him and scattering his body parts across Egypt. Imagine the grief that Isis must have felt, the loss of her husband, her king, the source of order in the world. But Isis, the epitome of loyalty and love, refused to let her husband's story end there. With unwavering determination, she searched for his remains, gathering each piece with the tenderness of a mother tending to her child. And with the help of Anubis, the god of mummification, she pieced Osiris's body back together, performing the first ever mummification ritual. This act of resurrection was a pivotal moment in Egyptian mythology. Through Isis's love and Anubis's knowledge, Osiris was brought back to life, albeit in a different form. From the tranquil realm of Osiris we now confront the force of chaos, the embodiment of disorder and disruption, Seth, the god of the desert, storms and violence. While often portrayed as an antagonist, Seth's role in the Egyptian pantheon is far more nuanced than simply being the bad guy. Imagine a world without contrast, without the ebb and flow of opposing forces. That's the kind of world without Seth. He represents the necessary chaos that exists alongside order, the wildness of nature that can be both destructive and invigorating. Seth is often depicted as a red-haired beast with a curved snout and pointed ears, an appearance that sets him apart from the other gods. This unique form speaks to his untamed nature, his association with the unpredictable forces that exist on the fringes of civilization. His domain is the desert, a place of scorching heat, howling winds, and untamed wilderness. The ancient Egyptians respected the desert's power even as they feared its unforgiving nature. Seth, as lord of this realm, embodied both its danger and its raw primal energy. But Seth's most defining act, the one that forever cemented his place in Egyptian mythology, was the murder of his brother Osiris. Driven by jealousy and a lust for power, Seth tricked Osiris, killing him and scattering his body parts across Egypt. This act plunged the world into chaos, disrupting the natural order and ushering in a period of mourning and turmoil. Yet, even in this act of violence, we see the duality of Seth's nature. He is not purely evil but rather a force of nature, capable of both destruction and, ultimately, renewal. Remember, without Seth's actions, Osiris would not have been resurrected as the ruler of the Underworld, and the cycle of life, death, and rebirth would have been irrevocably broken. From the tumultuous realm of Seth, we now enter the sacred domain of Anubis, the jackal-headed god of mummification and protector of the dead. Anubis, the divine embalmer, guides souls on their final journey with compassion and ancient wisdom. His jackal-headed form symbolizes protection of tombs and the sanctity of burial grounds. Anubis's role in mummification stems from the Osiris myth. After Seth murdered Osiris, Anubis and Isis performed the first mummification ritual. Anubis became the master of embalming, preserving bodies for the afterlife. He guided souls through the underworld, protecting them and leading them to the Hall of Two Truths. From the solemn halls of the underworld, we emerge into the sun-drenched world above where we encounter Bastet, the captivating feline goddess of ancient Egypt. Imagine a deity who embodies both fierce independence and nurturing warmth, a protector of the home and a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield. That's Bastet, the cat goddess, a deity whose duality reflects the very essence of feline nature. Bastet is most often depicted as a woman with the head of a cat, usually a domestic cat or a lioness, depending on the aspect of her being that is being emphasized. This feline association instantly conjures up images of grace, agility, and an air of mystery, qualities that were revered by the ancient Egyptians. As a protector of the home and hearth, Bastet was worshipped as a goddess of domesticity, fertility, and childbirth. Imagine her presence in an Egyptian household, a gentle paw resting on a cradle, her purring a soothing lullaby, her watchful eyes guarding against evil spirits. Mothers prayed to her for healthy children, families invoked her name to ward off misfortune, and her image adorned homes as a symbol of domestic bliss. But Bastet's power extended far beyond the domestic sphere. She was also a fierce warrior goddess, a protector of the pharaoh and the embodiment of the sun's scorching heat. Imagine her transforming on the battlefield, her gentle demeanor replaced by a fearsome roar, her claws bared, her eyes blazing with the intensity of the midday sun. This duality, this ability to shift from nurturing protector to formidable warrior, is what makes Bastet such a captivating and enduring figure. As we conclude our journey through the celestial tapestry of ancient Egyptian gods, we're left with a profound sense of awe and wonder. From Ra, the mighty sun god who birthed the cosmos, to Bastet, the enigmatic feline goddess who guarded both hearth and home, these deities weren't just mythical figures, they were the embodiment of the Egyptians' deepest fears, aspirations, and their understanding of the universe itself. We've witnessed the cosmic struggle between Horus and Seth, a timeless battle between order and chaos that continues to resonate in our own lives. We've delved into the mysteries of the afterlife alongside Osiris and Anubis, confronting our own mortality while embracing the possibility of rebirth and renewal. And we've explored the duality of power with Bastet, recognizing that strength can be found in both gentleness and ferocity. These gods, with their intricate stories and profound symbolism, continue to captivate our imaginations thousands of years after their creation. Their influence can be seen in art, literature, and even in our everyday language. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the divine realms of ancient Egypt.